Hello, another video here today. So today we're going to be looking at multiplying polynomials. So in order to really understand what it is that we're doing when we're multiplying polynomials, I thought we'd come back to the idea of just multiplying numbers. Okay, so remembering that with variables, variables just stand in for numbers. So whenever you're doing a question with variables, if you know how to do it with numbers, you probably can figure out how to do it with variables as well. So we've got 27 times 34. So most people, I think, when they try to multiply these numbers, are just going to stack them up like you did when you were a kid and just multiply them like this. So 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 3 is 21 plus 2 makes 23. Okay, we don't need that anymore. 2 times 4 is 8. And 2 times 3 is 6. And so what do we end up with? 8, 1 carry the 1, makes 918. So you always just add that step. So instead of doing that, let's think about what multiplication actually means. So 20 is actually composed of 20 and 7. And I'm going to go even a step further, and I'm going to break down 34 even more. I'm going to do 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 4. Okay, so 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 30, plus 4 makes 34. And I'm going to think about what multiplication means. It means we have 27 34s. So you could write out 34 27 times and add them all together. Okay, but that's going to take a long time. So instead of doing that, I'm going to think about 34 as these groups of 10 and this 4. I'm going to think of 20 as a 20 and a 7. So what do we have? We have 20 34s and 7 34s. So that must mean we have 20 10s. We have 20 10s. We have 20 of these 10s. We have 20 of these 10s. And we have 24s. And that makes up 20 34s. So these are actually easy to figure out. 20 times 10 is 200. 20 times 10 again is 200. 20 times 10 is 200. 20 times 4 is 80. Okay. Now, that's only 20 34s, though. We also need 7 34s. So 7 10s, 7 more 10s. Now we have 27s. Okay. 10 more, and that's 37s, and 4 more 7s would make 34 7s, or 7 34s. So now we're going to add on 70, plus 70 more, plus 70 more, plus 28. Okay, so altogether now we have 600 here, okay, plus 80 here, plus that's going to make 210, plus this 28. So now 600 times 210 makes 810, plus another 80 makes 890, plus 28 makes 918. So you can see we end up with the same thing. So now analyzing this, what did we do? Well, we multiplied everything in this bracket by everything in this bracket here. Okay? And that's the key to multiplying polynomials. Okay, so let's jump over to something here, and we'll just make a little note. So multiply everything in one bracket by everything in the other. And that's what we're going to do. So in this case, we have x minus 2s. And then we also have 3 x minus 2s. So we have x's and x minus 2s. Then we have 3x's and 3 minus 2s. So altogether, x times x gives us x squared. X times minus 2 gives me minus 2x. 3 times x gives me plus 3x. And 3 times minus 2 gives me minus 6. So what do we have? We have x squared. Let's put these together because we have minus 2x's and 3x's makes 1x. So you can just write it like that. And then we have the minus 6. Okay, now let's just think about if this gives us something equal. We can try to prove it if we wanted to, but rather than prove it, why don't we just see if it suggests that it's true? Let's just plug in a value for x. So let's let x be, I don't know, 2. So if we look at our bracket now, 2 plus 3 times 2 minus 2 is going to equal 5 times 0, which is 0. And remember, this is just a check. We already have our answer. Okay, so now let's try the other one. So x squared plus x minus 6. Put a 2 in. 2 squared plus 2 minus 6. It's going to be 4 plus 2 minus 6. This will be 6 minus 6, which is also 0. So this doesn't prove anything, but it does show you that when we pick some random point or some random value for x, that it actually does work. We get the same value when we use both expressions, so they appear equal. So x plus 3, when you multiply it by x minus 2, you do get x squared plus x minus 6. Okay, let's take a look at one that's a little bit more complicated. It's not really that much more complicated because this is saying we have 2x of these and minus 3y of these as well. So all we're going to do is realize that if we have 2x of the whole bracket, we have 2x of each of the individual parts inside the bracket. So 2x times 6x and 2x times minus 5y. Then 3y of these, so 3y 6x's and minus 3y minus 5y's. Okay, so 2x times 6x plus 2x times minus 5y minus 3y times 6x, and finally plus minus 3y times minus 5y. Okay, so what do we get all together? This is 12x squared minus 10xy minus, and I'm just going to write the x's and y's in the same order. Makes it clearer that these are like terms. So minus 18xy, and finally negative times a negative giving us positive, we have plus 15y squared. Now look, we have these two that are like terms, so we'll put those together. We end up with 12x squared minus 28xy plus 15y squared. Okay, so that's pretty much all you need to know, is that when you have these two brackets and they're being multiplied together, everything inside one bracket multiplies everything inside the other.